Hello everyone, welcome to ixamBee. Embrace the ixamBee learning experience. So in this session, we will discuss and explain the memory-based questions that were asked in 2022 in PFRDA grade A IT paper. I'll explain the correct answers and the concept behind it so that you will get an idea where to focus during your preparation. So before starting this, let's have some bit of motivation. We have multiple candidates. Those are selected in SEBI grade A, RBI grade B, NABARD grade A, IPS SO, and also in many exams. So our students trust us and they make it to the government job. So you can be the next person. So now let's start the video. So basically PFRDA exam held in 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2 and phase 3. And the professional knowledge part will be common in phase 1 and phase 2. Here you can see the exam pattern of phase 1. In phase 1 there are 2 papers. First paper consists of QRE and general awareness. Paper 2 will be of professional knowledge, which will have 50 questions of 100 marks and time is 40 minutes. In the phase 2 there are again 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. And paper 2 is specifically for stream-wise paper. There will be 50 questions, 100 marks and time will be 40 minutes. So we are going to focus on this paper only in this video. So let's start the questions now. So these are the questions. So here you can see the first question, hub connects to. Answer is hub connects two devices in the network. Basically, hub is a basic networking device which is used at physical layer of OSI model that connects multiple computer or devices together in a LAN. Hub is not a smart device. It broadcasts all the data to all the devices, which is inefficient and insecure compared to the switches. This is about the hub. Now the next question, at which layer in encryption and decryption done? So the answer is presentation layer. Presentation layer is a 6th layer of OSI model. There are 7 layers present in the OSI model, and the presentation layer is basically responsible for data translation, encryption, decryption and the compression. So whenever a secure transmission is needed, the encryption happens at this layer, and before the data reaches to the session layer or the transport layer, the data is being decrypted there. The next question is, this IP address belong to which class? IP addresses are basically categorized in the 5 categories from A to E. Class C ranges from 192.0.0.0 to 223.255.2.255.255. So the IP address, which is 200.200.200.200, definitely falls in the class C, which is generally used for the small networks. The next question is, what is a clause to remove a particular column in a database? So answer is, when we are talking about the column, so the clause will be drop. The alter command is used to do a modification in the structure of a table, and to delete a column, the drop column will be a correct clause. So the next question is, what is the worst case time complexity of a merge sort? So the correct answer is n log. A merge sort is a divide and conquer algorithm, and it divides an array into 2 halves recursively until each subarray contains a single element. Then again it merges that subarrays back to the single array, but in a shorted manner. So the time complexity for dividing that array will be a log n, and merging those array into a single array will take a time of n. So the worst case time complexity will be n log n. The next question is, in which port FTP is used? The port number is 21. FTP is basically a file transfer protocol which uses port number 21 for command and control communication and port number 20 for actual data transformation. The next question was related to distinct keyword. So distinct keyword in SQL is used to remove duplicates row from the result. The syntax for this will be like, in SQL will be like select distinct and then column names from the table. The next question is property of view in database. So view is like a virtual table which is created to select the queries. It does not store the data physically, but it is used for security, abstraction. These views can have a property of read only, or they can be based on the query you have designed. The next question is, what is not true regarding the views in the database? So there can be multiple options, but here we can see that we views basically store the data physically. So there may be some options which have some true statements and some false statements. I have already told you how the view works in the database. Usually views are used to store only a query definitions, not the data. So if any option says like view store data like tables, so that will be an incorrect answer. This is for an example. The next question is, which inheritance is not present in the Java? So that was multiple inheritance. Multiple inheritance is directly not supported in the Java. We will use the interfaces to support multiple inheritance in Java. The next question was related to DOS attack. So DOS is basically a denial of services attack, which is a type of cyber attack in which attackers attempt to make a system or a service to its intended users by flooding it with a very large number of requests, or you can say that excessive requests that create vulnerabilities in the system. The objective for DOS attack is like to disrupt normal functioning of the targeted server by overwhelming it with the traffic. The next question is NTP, server port and protocol. So NTP is basically network time protocol, and it is used to synchronize the clocks of the computers. Like you will have a clock that will determine your network, and the port number for NTP protocol is 123. How the NTP server works? Client basically send a time request to the NTP server, then the server respond with a timestamp, and then the client adjusts its local clock based on the time received by the server. This is how they manage the entire network. The next question is, number of nodes in a tree is n, then minimum height of the tree. So the concept of minimum height is basically based on the shortest possible distance from the root to the farthest leaf node. So in the binary tree, the minimum number of levels required to hold a given number of nodes, and in case of binary tree there is a fixed formula which is log 2n to check the height of tree. And in terms of level, how we are able to calculate the heights? So there is a formula that is log 2n plus 1. 1 is basically used for level 1. So if we want to calculate the height on a particular level, we will use this formula. Now the next question is regex output in the Python. So this question was related to the regex, and there was so here we will discuss what is regex. Regex is basic regular expression. It is used for pattern matching purpose to search any kind of string based on any type of pattern which is already defined. And in Python they have a particular syntax to find some characters or some string in the Python. Then there was a question related to panda classes in the Python. It was again a output based question. Next question is also related to Python, which is again a output based question. Here you can see that there are multiple questions is being asked, which is completely related to find the output of a program. So you can try multiple questions related. And the next question is related to fork command. Fork basically used for creating a new process. It is a classical question from operating system, and the frog returns different value for the parent ID and different value for the child ID. So in case of parent, frog basically return the child's parent ID, and in the case of child, frog returns 0. The next question is related to shell programming. So shell is a command line interpreter which let user to interact with the operating system using commands or this such as bash, sh and zsh. The next question is related to spoofing. So spoofing means pretending to be someone else, like an attacker pretend to be a trusted source using fake email ID or fake IP address. Basically this is spoofing. The next question was on authentication. Authentication is a mechanism to verify a user, like who is the user, how it will be able to manage to recognize the user by using passwords, OTP or biometric. The next question was related to ACID properties. This is the property which is implemented in the transaction control. ACID is atomicity, consistency, isolation and durability. These are four properties of TBMS that is used to maintain a transaction in the system. Then one question was from the R programming. The next question is related to analysis of data in an organization is called, basically it is data analytics. So data analytics is a science of analyzing raw data and to make a conclusion about that information. It includes like various steps like data collection, data cleaning, data transformation, and data visualization. The next question is related to SQL query for selecting customer for account balance more than 1,000. So this was query based question. Then again there was a query based question which is related to relational algebra using projection and selection operator. Then there was again a question related to SQL query which was based on the aggregate functions like average and count. So 3 questions were asked from SQL query, so you need to be prepared for that. So like whenever you want to check the balance, like account balance more than 100, there will be an operator which is like you can just simply write like this, and there will be a clause is being used which is known as where. So you will add a select statement and then use a where clause, then you will put it a condition. In the case of projection and selection, there are operators which is in a relational algebra. It is like it is used for projection and this operator is used for selection. So you are just like selecting some data. Suppose I'm selecting here balance, which is I have driven from here. So I have selected the balance and I want to project all the names of the customer which have a balance of 1,000 rupees, more than 1,000 rupees. So that operator will display all the names of the customer. Then the operator which is used for average and count purpose. So there is 5 aggregate functions in the SQL: average, min, max, count, and sum. So these are the aggregate functions. The next question is related to Java, that java.lang package contain in which list of classes by default. Whenever you use the classes like string or anything which is coming from the system, there is no need to import that package manually. That is, this package is automatically called by the classes. Then there was a question again repeated based on this shell programming. Then there was a question related to the loop. Then one question is related to the function overloading. Then what is function overloading? It is the meaning of function overloading is having multiple function with the same name but the different parameter is known as function overloading. Then one question is on greedy algorithms. The next question is based on again the output of C program, like where the value are passed as 20 to the function and scanf was used in printf. So it is kind of tricky question. If scanf is inside the printf, it may result a undefined behavior. So you need to focus on the execution and the return values. Then the last question was on the wrapper class. It is completely based on the encapsulation concept of object-oriented programming. So these are the questions which were, these all are the memory-based questions which were asked in 2022. There may be some different options of these questions mentioned in the paper, so you can answer accordingly. So now, as you know, so if we analyze, so in this video we have discussed almost 30 plus questions which were asked in the PFRDA. So in this video we have discussed almost 30 plus questions which were asked in the PFRDA 22 exam with the explanation. So you can see the focus was on the few subjects like computer networking, SQL DBMS, Java, Python, shell scripting, also on cybersecurity, and the major focus was on logic and output based questions. So make sure you will go through on those topics. So this is, we have analyzed overall, like there are 8 to 10 questions were asked from DBMS, 8 to 10 questions were asked from the programming languages, 4 to 5 questions were asked from the networking, 4 to 5 questions are from operating system and shell scripting, 3 to 4 questions are from data analytics, 3 to 4 questions from algorithms, 3 to 4 questions from cybersecurity. Here they have added a new subject, that is AI and ML. So we can expect many questions from this, and the difficulty level can be a moderate, because this exam is easy to moderate exam. Then there were 1-2 question from the data warehousing. So this was the overall discussion about the previous year questions, PFRDA. So if you are preparing for the PFRDA exam, we have already designed a study plan. You can download it from the description, and we are also providing an online course for PFRDA Grade IT. Today's intro class for that course, you may enroll now. So this is our pedagogy. You will have video lessons, live doubt classes, concept check questions, chapter tests, section tests, mock tests, study notes, assignment based classes. Other than this, you will have an expert session which is designed to help you prepare 50% faster with ixamBee. Then our mock test is completely based on the actual exam level. So start preparing. And for BPedia, for general awareness, you can rely on our BPedia. You can download it from our website. It is a free PDF. So this is if you have any query, you can write in the comment box. We will try to answer it as soon as possible. Thank you. Prepare 50% faster with ixamBee.